Welcome to the Success with Jewelry podcast, where we invite you inside our conversations about business success and marketing for jewelry designers and entrepreneurs.
We're Laryssa and Liz, jewelry marketing experts with a combined 16 years of experience in jewelry marketing and proven track records in helping jewelry brands meet their goals. When you listen to or watch this podcast, you get an intimate and exclusive peek behind the curtain of all the things you wish you could know about earning success in this industry.
Welcome to episode 20. In this episode, Laryssa and I will be talking about your e-commerce homepage and how to actually drive traffic to your website. More specifically, we'll be covering why the homepage is so important, homepage best practices, tips for driving traffic to your website. We also want to tell you about our insider community. When you join for only $20 a month, you'll have access to extended episodes full of tips that you can start implementing today and further resources about each topic we discuss. To get access to exclusive content, sign up by visiting successwithjewelry.com. Hey, Laryssa, let's get into it.
Let us talk about homepages, the literal storefront of your e-commerce store.
This is why homepages are so important, is because it needs to do so many things. It is your virtual storefront. It's your digital marketplace. People are seeing your homepage, and it's essentially like those beautifully merchandised windows at your favorite store.
Absolutely. It needs to be like that window, or that walking into a brick and mortar store, or having that experience with like your best salesperson. So it needs to do so many things, but it also can't be overwhelming because you want your customers to know how to shop your brand.
Essentially, and we mentioned this last week, but you have 10 seconds to hook your audience. So when somebody gets to your homepage, it needs to do a lot of things. It needs to tell your story really quickly and very clearly. It needs to help your customers shop, and it needs to align with and reinforce your messaging.
No pressure.
No big deal. Totally fine. So to help you with this, let's share some homepage best practices. Your homepage should provide the most important information to your brand in an easy to digest way with many clear calls to action. So essentially, you want to direct your audience through your website.
And there are a few must-haves, and these are literally the bare minimums. Just having these things won't cut it in e-commerce, but you must have a logo at the top of the site, a clear navigation, and you can go back to episode 19 for more about that, a search bar to make it super easy to find things if someone just needs like a specific product or a specific type of product, and then an easy, clear way to contact you.
I think one of the stars of a homepage is a header image that features what you're promoting. So it's in alignment with what you're promoting on your social media, what you're promoting in your email marketing. And I think a missed opportunity for a lot of designers is they put so much energy into putting up a website and then they don't touch it for 6 months to a year or even longer. So it's something that you want to have on your calendar to update regularly. So maybe every couple of months, maybe every quarter. Update your header image to align with everything else you're saying on all of your channels.
Liz and I have seen so many neglected homepages. We should start like an orphanage or something to like...
We're going to start sending emails.
Save all the neglected homepages. Yeah. And an incentive to sign up for our insiders is we'll show you some good homepages. We screen share and give specific examples. So if you actually want to see what a good homepage looks like, there is definitely a reason to sign up.
Yes, definitely. So we look at a lot of homepages, a lot of websites in general. But what's interesting is some top brands, top couture brands, top fine jewelry brands, really aren't updating their homepage that regularly or don't have a very strong homepage. And it's interesting with high-end jewelry because a lot of times the website doesn't actually function in terms of somebody adding something to a cart and purchasing it without a conversation. A lot of times, your direct messages on Instagram or through email or phone is how something is actually purchased. But your website is still so important to be telling your story. And even if a customer is going to contact you to actually make their purchase, they're going to trust you and learn more about your brand and become invested in you by seeing your content. So it's so important that you're thinking about your website and giving it some love and updating it regularly. Something else that's really important is having a strong call to action. So maybe you have a beautiful header image, and it doesn't mean you need to invest in quarterly photo shoots or anything like that. Just make sure you're updating your header in a way that is in alignment with everything else you're doing. But so you have a beautiful header image. Make sure it also has a strong call to action, because you don't want to just have an image with nowhere to go. You want to make sure it's clickable, because it's above the fold. It's the first thing people see, and having a button and a strong call to action on that header image is really important in directing people through your website.
Yes, and to build on what Liz said, we both think that like there's kind of this old school way of thinking, especially with what she mentioned with like the couture brands or some of the fine jewelry brands, where you have like one big photo shoot or one big campaign, and that's supposed to kind of take you through the next few months or whatever quarter that you're in. But e-commerce, the pace of that moves a lot more quickly. A lot of newer brands are moving to more of like a drop format. Customers get impatient. They want to see like not necessarily new product, but like a new presentation of products. So it's really important to move away from that like we're good for 6 months kind of thought process that was in the past.
And when you are doing that big yearly photo shoot, maybe you can only, invest in one a year. Make sure you're taking many groupings and think about how you can use these photos throughout the year in new ways. So you can really think about things in a bigger term and updating more frequently. So a few other things I love having on a homepage, about you or about your brand or about your process. I love, especially if you're a solopreneur, if you're the designer and the maker, I love homepages with an image of you, or your bench or your studio, so we can get a glimpse into who you are, and that would link to your about page or a page about your brand or your process or anything like that. But I love having that on a homepage. It just brings a little bit more personality to it. And then also, if custom design is a big part of your business, having a link, and again, maybe a beautiful image of your sketchbook or stones on your bench or anything like that, having that on your homepage with a link to your custom design process page, I think is a really smart thing to do. Something else that I think brings a lot to your homepage is client testimonials. If you have some great ones that you want to be sharing, having those on your homepage, I think is really helpful.
Absolutely. Social proof, any kind of like trust factors that, especially if you're a smaller, more indie brand, that will inspire trust to get someone to feel comfortable shopping with you.
And something else you can update frequently on your homepage outside of a header image is a curated selection of products. So maybe right now you're featuring your favorite gold pieces, or what you've added to your personal jewelry box, or maybe you're focused on rock crystal right now and you do a curated selection of rock crystal. Updating that regularly is a great way to keep your website fresh. Then something else I love, and it's a trend that I've seen coming for a long time in digital marketing, is video. Having video and trying video on your homepage. We've shared some in our Insiders episode, some great examples of websites that have beautiful header images that have video. But if you don't have that type of video to use, but maybe you have a great brand video, you can embed a YouTube video somewhere on your homepage so that you can really have a way of telling your story, and using that on your homepage is a great way to kind of invite people into your world. All right, let's get into some tips for actually driving traffic to your website. So you've created this website, you have your game plan, you're going to update it frequently so Laryssa and I don't get annoyed. And now how do you actually get people to your website? First and foremost is make sure your website link is easy to find. So if you're using a link tree or any kind of link app on your Instagram page and your Instagram profile, so you can link to multiple things, make sure your website link is first and foremost. Make sure the link to your website is very easy for customers to find.
Yeah, link trees are often neglected, or they become too overwhelming because people think, oh, I have to put all the things in here. But really, a person who is going to your link tree, they just want to understand how to get to your website or whatever is like the one thing being featured. So try your very best to restrain yourself from like putting all the links in your link tree.
And Use strong calls to action. So every single post you put on social media, every single email you send should have a strong call to action. And not only that, you should give people a reason. So not just say, visit my website to see my latest collection. Visit my website to see the latest curated collection I've put together. Visit my website to see my latest blog post. Give somebody a reason to actually go to your website.
And in your email campaigns as well, don't like try to reinvent the wheel and get creative with your links or your button call to actions. Keep it simple, make it clear. People are typically scanning when they read stuff, so use language that is more a clue or a signifier rather than like, okay, someone actually has to like read this.
It's so important to say click here, which sounds so silly because it's like, we all know what hyperlinks look like. Most people know what a hyperlink looks like. It's blue, it's underlined, but saying click here will increase your click rate, I promise you. Then think about some reasons for people to click to your website. So a lot of times, a reason why people have blogs and keep their blogs updated is because it's a reason to send people to your website. We have a new blog post. It's about this. Click to the website to check it out. Also, updating your header image. So maybe you've decided that every quarter you're going to update your homepage with a fresh header image. You can let your audience know that you've given your homepage a bit of a refresh and send them over there to check it out. And another reason to send people to your website is, a curated selection of product. So updating that frequently. Maybe you put together a collection of rock crystal. Check it out. Check out our favorite pieces that feature rock crystal. A great reason to send people to your website. And then, of course, every time you add new products, let your audience know. Send them to your website. Have you thought about your homepage much? Do you struggle with making it feel like a storefront? Let us know. Again, you can visit successwithjewelry.com to sign up for the extended episode as well as exclusive content. Thank you so much for listening.